Okay, Brandon, let's take a look at your swim stroke from the front angle. First thing we see here, great head position, nice looking recovery. The entry into the water looks pretty good. You are definitely flirting with crossing over. Look at a center line here. Go back and look at this. See if we can see. All right. If you look right here and we draw a center line, it looks like it may be something like that. Let's move just a little bit. Okay. See right here. So there's your center line. What happens when you cross this arm over is if your arm goes that way, your shoulders follow, and if your shoulders go that way, your hips are going to go over this way. Here comes the arm. Look at right there. Back up just a little bit. You can barely see. A lot more of your hips are over on this side than they were before. You can see now that your body is taking more of an angle like this. And each time you cross over, those hips move back and forth, and that back and forth causes you to kind of serpentine through the water, which is the least efficient way, not as efficient as going straight through the water. So that's what crossing that arm over does for you. And you can see right there, there's your arm, that center line. You're at least flirting with it. But we can see that your hips are moving back and forth a little bit. Um, we stop it again. Come back. Okay, right there. You've turned your head to take a breath, but as we can see, almost your entire head is up out of the water. You have a little bit of a bow wake here, so it looks like not as much as out of the water that actually is. But regardless, it's definitely way too much of it out of the water. And if we go back even further, we can see we go from a good head position here. The head goes up, up, and turns. And then also turns too far. You're ending up looking up in this direction. We want you to stop when you're over in this direction. Maybe a little bit up, but definitely more towards the side. So a little bit of lifting as you take the breath and a little bit of crossing over. You can see the crossover again with that hand, with your right hand right there. That hand's way out here in front of the head. And right there, that's more like where we want that hand to end up, not over here in this area. So slight crossover and a lifting of the head as you take a breath. You see that crossover again there, another good example of it. Come back. Okay, it's crossed over, and then you straighten it out. Cross over, straighten it out. All that crossing over, like I said, it's going to cause your hips to waggle back and forth, and that waggling back and forth creates more resistance. Swimming is all about small, subtle things to remove the resistance. I think this is another thing that we talked about from the side view, but you can see it here well. As this right arm enters the water, we see a steep angle, and the arm comes down. Here's the surface of the water up here, and here's your arm down here. You've lost all that area for arm pull. We want to start that arm much, much closer to the surface of the water. Just a few minor things. Your stroke looks really good. But just a couple of things. The head position, rotating and not lifting the head, not crossing over, and then getting these arms in the water up a little closer to the surface of the water. Those are the three main things, and in that order. Good job, Brandon.